Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review is Ghosted, a Apple TV Plus original. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get to it. So I've been seeing the trailer for this. Looks interesting enough. This is like something to watch. Fun spy type action movie. Some humorous moments, entertaining enough. So let's just go over the brief cast. You got Chris Evans, aka Captain America, plays as Cole Turner. You got Anna De Armas, plays as Sadie Rhodes. You got Adrian Brody, plays as Levecki. Mike Moore plays as Wagner. So then you had a lot of cameos. So this is a fun movie. So you had some brief cameos just to be comedic and humorous with their little short roles. So you had Anthony Mackie. He plays as the grandson of Sam. John Cho plays as the leopard. You got Ryan Reynolds plays as Jonas. Sebastian Stan plays as God. Who else is in here? Tim Blake Nelson plays as Borislav. Was there anybody else that cameoed in here? If so, I don't remember. But so they, it's a fun movie. So they just had little cameo roles, and it probably was fun on set for them to do. Nevertheless, so you got Cole. What starts off with Sadie, where she is an agent. You find out that she just one of the agents that she was connected to. We know from the trailer that she's already an agent. So on here it just says she's talking to somebody, and she's pretty much saying that they just died. And she needs some time. When they died, she realized that they were alone. And she felt as though that she didn't want to die like that, where she would be alone and never have nobody to go home to. Or if she died, nobody would know her. So her handler, pretty much boss/handler, told her, talk to the doctor and give yourself some time. So she elects to go home and go to the market. Meanwhile, you have Cole, who works on a farm with his family, and he comes to the market and sells his I forgot what he sells. Produce, it doesn't matter. But he just was dumped by a girl. The people at the market is talking about how he got dumped, and he's clingy, and they said that's a turn off the girls, showing too much that you invested. That's the girls will dislike it. So one of the people that he's cool with at the market, she went to go eat an edible and told him to watch her stand. So when he watches her stand, in comes Sadie looking for a plant. So he gets on a spiel talking to Sadie about different plants, and she was saying basically she didn't need a plant that so it's subliminally talking about him, but she didn't need a plant that would be needy. She needs a plant that really can stand on his own. So then he started to take it to offense because that's kind of a reflection of what he's going through in his life right now. So when his friend came back to her stand, they were going back and forth, and she sold her the plant. After she walked off, she was like, "Hey man, why didn't you ask her out?" And he's like, "What? You didn't just see the back and forth we just had?" And she was like, "Nah, it was a lot of sexual tension between y'all. You should go ask her out. You misread that wrong." So he went and stopped her car. She broke the plant that she just bought, and he pushed up on her, And she kind of brushed him off at first, and then as he walked away, she's like, "Never mind, just come. Let's go have some coffee." So he just elected to have some coffee, and then that whole day they talked. They end up ending the night by going to a karaoke bar, and then end up sleeping together. Next morning came, he left, and that's the last he heard from her. And from that point, he was texting her. Now, while they were together that night, he had an inhaler, and inside his inhaler there was like some type of tracking device. So he had put it in her purse, and so when she wasn't talking to him, his family was making jokes. The dad and the daughter, his sister, um, the dad and his sister was pretty much making jokes like you you too needy, you too clingy. The mom was basically saying he's not. He's just a hopeless romantic. He's a romantic guy. So he remembered that he could track his inhaler, and tracked his inhaler in London. So the mom got a great idea. This is a perfect time. You can show love, and you need to get out anyway and go to London, and she'll look at that as you really like her or whatever. The sister was saying you're gonna be looked at as a stalker, and the dad was pretty much saying go for it. So he went for it. So he got in London. He's tracking this device, and he see her coming out of like some event. Meanwhile, some goons run up on him, and when they run up on him, they kidnap him. Now he was in London when he wakes up. He's about to be tortured, and so they asking him, "What's the codes? What's the codes?" And then out of nowhere, somebody, right when he was going to get poisoned with a bee, somebody comes in shooting. Of course, we know this is Sadie. She's the agent. She's shooting everybody out, and she's looking for his help at first, but he's kind of hesitant. But he picks up as the movie goes on. So from there, when she break him out, you find out they in Pakistan, and so now he finds out that she's an agent. She lied to him, and she finds out that basically he was all clingy. He wasn't showing his real self. He was clingy. She was going to get back with him, but he kept texting her, and so that was a turn on. So they were at odds at first, but then they grew on to each other because now the goons, the villains thought he was what they called a tax man. He had these codes to this like chemical bomb that was being sold to the dark web, and to the highest bidder, of course. And he had the codes being a tax man, and they had one of the codes from somebody else. So that was pretty much the goons was after him, thinking that he was what they call a tax man, and she was really the tax man. And so that's when you run into all the cameos when the goons is trying to attack and kill him. So what ended up happening, they develop a stronger bond. It's a moment where she gets wounded, and it's a bunch of different action scenes where he started to get more into like fighting and shooting, and she gets wounded, and he saves her, and he saves they have the device that everybody's after, and she start warming up to him, basically saying you saved me and you could have just left or whatever. So the villains came back, and Vinecki, which is played by Adrian Brody, he's like the head villain on that wants this device and wants the codes. His right hand man is Wagner. So they get the device, and now it comes down to the last scene. The agency CIA, they want to kick Sadie out and suspend her because she didn't follow protocol. Meanwhile, they still need to use Cole because they think he the tax man. So they basically hit him with the spiel. You're doing this for your country stuff, and or whatever. So he arrives at the last dinner with Levecki and the main arms dealers that's buying the weapon. And Sadie arrives, even though she's spinning, she's rise for his backup. And it's just an all-out shootout. Once she got the money from the arms dealer, not the arms dealer, the main henchman that wanted the bomb. Once she got the money transferred, she put a hit out on Rebecca, and pretty much that anybody who killed him get 10 million. And so it was an all-out shootout. They eventually get the bomb device back, vow their love for each other. And fast forward 3 months later, they going on a date night, and she kidnapped somebody that was a bad person, and he pretty much comes out, greets her, and they walk off, and that's how it ended. So it's a decent movie to watch. You get an opportunity if you got Apple TV Plus. Tune in. Out of my 4-star rating system, I give it a 2 out of 4 stars. Decent movie to watch if you need something to look into. And I guess when you see Chris Evans, and we've been seeing him for all these years doing Captain America movies, where he was more serious playing Captain America. Now you see him in these movies where, having fun and enjoying himself, but still doing action. So it was overall a decent movie. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.